What's really special is a lot of people involved that have helped me over the years be involved in the community and helping me really grow in all the things I do, and giving me ideas. I mean, going all the way back to Cincinnati when I was playing there and some of the events we were able to do. And when I came here in LA, I kind of brought some of those with me and transferred some of those ideas to here and how I could be in the community and do different things. So, yeah, it's amazing the collaboration of everything throughout my career that my wife and I have been able to be a part of, and it really makes you kind of look back and think about all those cool moments. I was really shocked. I mean, it's amazing, really their involvement and how really genuine it is. It's not really, you see things sometimes that are just what I would call kind of marketing events or something like that. And that's a whole other separate deal. I mean, here it's really truly about community development and getting involved in the community and, really just finding ways to show a little love and appreciation for people and the city. And I think it's been amazing really to watch how involved they are, how much they're trying to do. And not only that, but every little idea that I'd come to them with, or little, hey, what about this idea? Even if this is something crazy that might be a really short amount of time. I mean, it was never like, let's think on it. It was, all right, we'll find a way to make it happen. And to me, that's what really separated them and made them special to me, is that I don't think that's something that happens everywhere. I think that's a pretty rare trait for the Rams to be committed to that and wanting to do whatever possible it is to make a difference in the community. Yeah, it's been different. I mean, it's hard to really think about, our comparison to, really the 2018 season and going to the Super Bowl. It's almost a totally different week. Feels a lot different. So it's be interesting. And, I'm sure you'll feel a little more of the week as we go to the Super Bowl, hotel site tomorrow and all of that. But, yeah, it's been nice to have a normal, what I would call NFL home game week. Oh, it's been crucial. I mean, I feel great. It's one of those things. Like I say, I got to play one healthy snap in the playoffs. So since then, it's been just trying to make it. And this week, with really the extra week, I've gotten well enough to where, like, even in the NFC Championship, I had to wear pretty extensive MCL tape job, and it's pretty elaborate, and I won't have to do that anymore. MCL's tightened enough now that I can actually just play as normal, and won't have any kind of extra stuff I have to do. So I'm excited about that. It's as good as I've felt in a while, and look forward to it. I think really just embracing that. You know what? The reality is this: if you play in the NFL, you've been passed by, or somebody's decided not to get you at every point other than the number one pick. So every single guy in some way, form, or fashion that, somebody's passed on you, or decided maybe that they had a better option. And so that's really all of us. And so the sooner you can get over that and really focus on, if you want to do this for a living and this wants to be your career, then, embracing where you are and fitting in and finding a way to, hey, you know what, this is how I can help. This is how I can contribute. And I'll worry about being the best player I can be and find my role. And I think Corbett's done an amazing job of that, and really just, instead of being sour about being traded or letting really that moment set him back for another moment, he's just, turned a positive attitude and said, I'll embrace where I am now and enjoy that and move on from there. And I think he's done nothing but really, grow as a player and a person, and it's been awesome to watch. I think really a tough, gritty group. I mean, you look at this group, almost every guy in it either has some kind of setback or adversity they had, early in their career, and now is really getting their opportunity to play. has proven throughout the season to be impactful for why we're the team we are. And I think that's one of those things that you watch this group, their ability to really grow and get better at things. And I said this actually in 2019, which is funny. It's people were criticizing the offensive line and some of the bounce back from the 2018 season, and I said, give these guys time to just get their feet wet in the NFL, give them a chance to play in more games, have a little more experience, and they're going to be a great group. Just by I could tell the character, the way they worked, what it meant to them, and here we are. I mean, the way they've played this year has been awesome, and it's going to be an impact to whether we can win this game or not. Well, I mean, Tuesday they asked that I put something together so they'd know, I guess, how to allot the TV time. So I really sat down and just kind of wrote some thoughts and emailed it over to them. And then last night I just kind of reiterated the thoughts, and they had them up on a prompter or whatever, but I didn't really have to use it much, other than if there was anything that I just didn't want to leave out. But yeah, it was really just something I sat down and wrote Tuesday afternoon, and just as I reflected about the week and the opportunity, and if I had the chance to win, what I'd want to say. No, I mean, I think that's something afterwards, but yeah, I mean, it'd obviously be a really sweet way to end it if I do. I really see those things as two totally separate deals. I mean, I think the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, regardless of this week, is something that is an awesome thing to share with my family and all the people that have been a part of my life. And I mean, all the way back to when I first got in the league and started my own foundation, and the people, I spoke to some of those people today. You look at it really in any journey, it's like all the things that you learn from every moment lead to where you are. And so some of those early moments of being in the community is part of where I am. So I see that as a representation of being a great player on the field, and also something I did great off of it. And I kind of look at it completely separate from this game. And this game would be an amazing accomplishment and a really cool moment and for our team, and to represent what this team deserves, in my opinion. And so I think it's one of those things that would be more of just an affirmation of our football team, our group, and the men I go to work with every day, and how much I believe in them. No, not really. I mean, I think really the week and the preparation and the work you put in is what gives you that quieted mind and into each and every week. And I think that's what this team's done well, is each week from Monday to Sunday, you've put in the work, the time, the thought processes, everything that goes into how can we execute, how can we do these things. And that has given this ability to have a quieted mind when we go into the game. And I think this team is very mature, handles that kind of stuff really well, and has a really great resilience to it, obviously. And so I think that's a great attribute we have, and I think the opponent we're playing is very similar in that way. They have some great resilience to them too. And so that's why I think it's going to be a great game and a great battle, and one that it's going to be about the team that can just go out and execute the best. Yeah, I think really for me, it's always been like, it's like anything. If somebody asks me music or food or anything, I'm always like, I never want to disrespect one genre or one type of thing. And I see community service the same way. There's so many different things that are great and awesome, and I don't ever want to say like, hey, I just care about education or I just care about, cancer awareness or whatever it is. I think there's so many awesome things people are doing that to me, it's like I try to look at them individually and say, all right, right now I'm kind of focused on, like, I'll send Molly a text and say, hey, Molly, I'm really focused on an educational piece. Like, I want to find something really cool we can do in education. So she'll go out and she'll be like, all right, here's 10 options that I've found, and she'll send them to me, and we'll kind of read over them and just see where it's like, all right, we feel like this is one that really fits something that we would be passionate about or we would care about. I mean, one of those things to me that I think is really always been something I try to be deliberate about when I'm doing that is I want to make sure anything I do, like, no different if you had your own business or as your own presentation, like, I want to make sure it's something that, like, I have my heart into too. I don't want to just do something because it's like, oh man, people look at that and think it's awesome, or people, kids might think this is cool. I want to make sure I care about it, and it's like, hey man, I really care to do this for these people, or to give this opportunity to them, or read their story and be like, man, that touched me. I want to make a difference. And we tried to do that to where it really personally, it's something that we personally read and get it. You kind of give everybody their due diligence and go, all right, we feel a personal tie to that. Like, that really is something that registers with me. I want to get involved with that, and that's kind of how we've done it. Thank you.
And you've been one of the guys who's been in LA for a while now. How is the market? How's the fan base? How do you see football grow in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, I always joke. I still remember my first game running out the tunnel against the Indianapolis Colts. I was excited about our football team, but running out the tunnel, I thought to myself, like, what in the crap did I just do? And signed myself up for leaving Cincinnati because I was kind of blown away at how few people were there. And it was one of those things that I had been in that situation before, though. I can remember in Cincinnati coming there right after in '05, my first year getting there. They had just had a good season. Carson Palmer got injured, and then we kind of down for a little bit, and things started to kind of die down fan-wise. And then we kind of all of a sudden got on this streak and went to the playoffs 5 years in a row, and everything took off, and the attention, the fan base, everything. And so to me, it was really like trust in, hey, if we win, we create a great culture, we create a place people are prideful to come and watch and believe in, fans will show up, and that's been the case. It's continued to grow. I go around now, everywhere I go, there's Ram stuff, there's T-shirts, even out here in Thousand Oaks, there's signs on board, buildings and doors. Like, you just see it more and more often, and I think to me that's been awesome to watch how much really being out here, I almost never saw anything to do with the Rams, and now living out here, I see it everywhere, and it's been cool to see the fan base grow that much. Yeah. I mean, I think to me, that's the beauty of sports, right? It's finding ways to create cultures, and you create cultures and belief systems, and you create the kind of team that people and communities want to rally around. I think that's what makes it special, and you really look at this area. It's a very special area. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to go to school. I think it's one of those things that gives you that uniqueness of the opportunity for people to see that they can feel at home, they can feel culture, they can feel accepted and loved. And I think any place that you have where you get to walk in a door and you feel believed in, you have a chance to be successful. And I think this area is definitely one of those. Oh, it's been amazing. It's been honestly, one of those things that's made me kind of an emotional day just to see the feedback. And I've had everything from GMs of teams that I've never even really had any personal relationship with that have gotten my number through somebody, or coaches, players, and reached out. So it's been really cool, really touching to see, and the response people have had.
Is there part of you that can appreciate the Bengals fever that's going through Cincinnati?
Oh, no question. I mean, I played there for 11 years, put my heart and soul in that place, and won a lot of football games there. So, quite frankly, was a part of when they hired Zach Taylor. I mean, I met with Zach. talk to them, in that process, and when they asked questions about that. So, yeah, I mean, I believe in Zach, I believe in Joe, I believe in that team and that organization. I think it's amazing, and I've said, anybody that knows me in the last 9 months, I've said that that will be a franchise to watch out for the next 4 to 5 years. I mean, they've got a tremendous window of time, and as long as Joe Burrow's there, they're probably always going to be a winner. So it's they're going to be quite a special football team for some time to be, and I think being a Bengal fan right now might be one of the best eras ever.
Andrew, what was your reaction to Cam Akers coming back? I mean, everybody thought he was done for the year. All of a sudden, a few months later, he's back and looking really explosive.
Yeah, he looks great. It's been awesome. I mean, he's one of those guys that every single day I saw him in the training room doing his rehab, prepping since week one. He's looked at me and said, "Big Wit, I'm gonna be back. If y'all get to the playoffs, I'm gonna be there." He believed it in his mind that was going to happen since the moment he got injured, and it's been amazing to watch what a special kid he is and what a special mentality he has. And he would have told you, 4 months ago that he'd be sitting in this spot. I mean, that's what he dreamed, that's what he imagined, that's what he believed was going to happen, and he would not accept anything other than that. I mean, I think that he really made it tough on everybody involved in the process, because it's like it's not been done, but there is nothing that, he was not checking off and even exceeding, where they're going, I don't know how we're going to tell him he can't, and so it's been really special to watch that ability. And I think this is honestly going to be something that's going to transform his career, because Cam was a guy that I would say is super talented and had all these things, and experiences like this, when you get injured, you create this, hey, every day you create a habit of taking care of your body and finding ways to feel better. You're recovering from an injury. But you see a lot of athletes, when they have that and they come back and they're great and they're healthy, they all of a sudden explode, because it's like now they've gotten this daily process that they've developed as a young player, to where they know how to take care of their body, they know how to prep themselves to perform, and it can kind of be this turning point for them, where it's like now that becomes a part of their just daily process for the rest of their career, which really takes them to that next level. It's what your elite veterans, your Cooper Kupps, your Matthew Stafford, those guys, this is how they take care of themselves every day. That's how Aaron Donald takes care of himself every day. And it really, for him, it's going to accelerate that process. It's not going to be year 5, year 6 when he feels bad. He's all of a sudden going to develop that process. He's got it now. And that's something that could really help him and help him grow as a football player. Yeah, I mean, really, it's just the partnership. I mean, it's the ownership of both of them that, as great as Sean is and tremendous as he is, Matthew's done it all. And so it's one of those things where he's played it, he's seen it all, and Sean's really envisioned and drew up and has this insane mind for football. And so they can really feed off of each other. There can be things that maybe one of them wants to do or the other one doesn't, or they both want to do, and they can confirm one another, or they can also be like, hey, you know what, Matthew can be like, hey, I've done that before, actually, I didn't like it as much, I'd rather do it this way. And so it's like a true, as I say, like a true partnership. Both of them kind of have this elite level to them. Matthews is through actually experience and play, and Sean's is from that elite level as a coach. And so it's like they can kind of marry it. Their marriage is, one of them can kind of say something or not say something, and the other one agree or not agree, but they can actually have a understanding of why, because that's really the biggest difference. You get a young quarterback and a experienced coach, it's like, that why thing. It's like, oh, you want me to do this, but I don't understand why. And so Matthew has that why, and so he gets it. He's done almost everything you can do in this league, and so he's lived it, and I think that's really the greatest part of their relationship that helps. Yes. Well, I mean, it's really for us. It's I would say the week's been just like the NFC Championship was. I mean, it's really not much different. I mean, outside of a couple media things where I guess that you might say, hey, a couple guys would still be doing this much media if you're playing the NFC Championship, but in this one, it's maybe 10 more people that are involved. It really hasn't been that much different than I would say just playing in a big time playoff game and playing at home. Oh man, I mean it's a special place. I mean it's where I'll probably live the rest of my life that I know of. You obviously don't know what will come next, but I'll definitely live here, and my kids will grow up here, so it's going to be a special place to us. But it's awesome. It's to me it's a lot of great families, a lot of great opportunities for. Well, we talk about culture as a football team, but I feel like this area has a great culture to it of people who just love to enjoy one another, be there for one another, and support one another. And you look through the youth sports, through the school systems, through everything else. You can't go anywhere around here and not find a pretty good culture of people. And so, to us, it's been an amazing place, and it's been awesome, as a Rams organization to be out here. I mean, I think that's been really special to be able to host the Super Bowl and do all of our stuff out here in this area. Even having the pep rally the other night at Oaks Christian. I mean, what a cool environment to be out here in this area with these people and be able to celebrate it all out this way. Oh, I mean, first off, thank you, and man, it's been an awesome ride. I mean, you look at it. I won 3 state championships in the Louisiana Superdome in high school. Won a national championship and in a bowl game at LSU in the Superdome in New Orleans. Won an NFC championship there in the Superdome. It's been a really cool place for me in my entire athletic career. At some point, I've always gone back to that stadium and achieved something. So playing in Louisiana has always been special. My relationship there has always been great, and I couldn't be more appreciative for the support and everything that I've always gotten from that state, and I think I always tried to support it back. It's been great. I mean, it's been one of those things that as a group we've had a lot of guys that have played football. I think that it's one of the best years to bring on somebody that's kind of new to being a rookie, being a head coach. I mean, a head O-line coach in the NFL. When you got a guy like Rob Havenstein who every single day is. Just the example for how you do things and how you go about things, it's been special, you know what I mean? And so watching those guys grow up and Brian Allen and Dave and Corbs, man, they're going to have great careers. And I couldn't be more proud of them, honestly. Yeah, I mean, you know what? In LA, it's been different for me. Growing up in South Louisiana, you kind of have a mixture, of a French and Latin down there. And then coming out here, really getting to know a little bit of the Latino family, it's been awesome. Their support of the Rams, their support. I can remember, how devastated I was that we didn't get to play the game in Mexico City against the Chiefs that year. But then still, when we moved out here, came back out here, still all the support and how much, different messages I got on Instagram from our Latino family out here. It's been unbelievable, just their passion for the Rams and their passion for us, and also what just a great culture and great group of people they are, and that's been one of the fun things for me living in LA and getting to know that culture a little bit has been a lot of fun. Oh man, that's tough. I think if I gotta go favorites, definitely enchiladas is right up there in my alley. But my favorite dessert probably is definitely, if any desserts, is like sopapillas and stuff like that. I love Mexican cuisine, so I'm right up there. That's my alley. If I can make a burrito out of something, it's happening. Just trust me. Taco, burrito, out of anything possible. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, living out here and getting to know some of the Latino family, and then also getting some of my first opportunities to have some true authentic cuisine has been cool. Yeah, there we go. I'm in for that.
Andrew, what has been the reaction to you winning the Walton Payton Man of the Year award in terms of other people maybe reaching out to you? What's that been like?
Oh, it's been unreal. I think I've had over 400 text messages, and it's been crazy. I've had people all across the NFL from all kinds of different areas. I mean, GMs to coaches to head coaches, all reach out, players. That's been really cool. And then after the event last night with all the Hall of Famers and other players there in attendance, I got a chance. A bunch of them all came to find me, and it's been really special. It's probably been one of the more unique things ever in my career. So it's definitely been something I've felt, and it was very touching.
Andrew, you have a number of players in this team, established veterans that are looking for their first ring. Yourself, how do you feel like that's fed the urgency, the hunger of the team overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's why we're here. I mean, you look at this group, how we've been able to do things, and really the just the outstanding leadership that we've had throughout this football team. I think that, like I've said before, there's just so many guys on this team. You look across the room and you go, man, I want to win for that guy. I mean, that guy deserves it for this or that. And it's made it one of the more unique seasons I've ever had, just being on a football team of a bunch of guys that really have earned opportunities like this and deserve it and handle themselves in such an awesome way. You'd do anything for them to have that chance to hold that trophy up.
Speaking of winning it for somebody, just talking to your fellow offensive linemen all week, to a man, they pretty much said that they're all trying to win this for you and give back something that you've given to them, just from a leadership and teaching standpoint. What does that mean to you that all of your fellow offensive linemen are playing for you to win this for you?
Well, I mean, I think for them, man, it's an opportunity for us to go out and as a group finish off the season how we started it and really cement our legacy as a group in this season and our contribution of what we've been to this football team. And I think that's what's most important. I mean, I appreciate that from them, and they know that. But I can't wait to take the field with them and go to work.
What do you think is behind the fact you guys playing such a unique football lack of giveaways and things like that?
Well, I think really just trying to, complementary football. I think that's something that we really, if you look back on our season, it's like, man, the games we play complementary football, we look pretty hard to beat. And I think that's really something we looked at mid-season. It was like, hey, how many of these games can you really just go back to if we didn't turn it over and we just kind of sometimes make calls or decisions that really just led to complementary football and not really worrying about always having to be risky or take chances, but really playing complementary football, did we have success? And it was a pretty high rate. So it was really those things that we really put an emphasis on of, hey, let's trust our defense, trust our offense, trust our special teams, trust us all to play at an elite level and have each other's backs and play winning football together.
Has it been more enjoyable or easier to get ready for this Super Bowl than since it's home and sleeping through in bed and all that instead of Atlanta?
It's definitely been less hassle. I mean, it's been a pretty wild week still, just with everything going on, especially for me with the Walter Payton thing and some other stuff. So, yeah, it's been wild, but it's definitely been way easier than really being in Atlanta was. Just how much really went into traveling for practice, traveling for media, traveling all that type stuff. It was a much different kind of process there in Atlanta. So yeah, this has been nice. Like I said, I mean, I think this has been more similar to what I'd call like an NFC Championship week, where you just have a little more media than that. But other than that, it's been about the same thing.
Hey, Wade, at the end of the day, the football game on Sunday against a really good team. What are the keys for you guys? It's always about matchups, right? What are the keys to this game that you have to do?
Well, I mean, I think honestly, it's another week where you look at this team. They've been very opportunistic with turnovers. I mean, they've for whatever reason found ways to get turnovers in the other team's territory and be in great position in the football field and really jumped off some really good starts in some of these games. I mean, the Chiefs game is really the only game that they didn't have a great start to the game, and so and they still battled their way back in that one and then got some opportunistic turnovers in the second half. So you kind of understand that this team's in the game at all times, and there's never a moment where you're really in control of them. You're going to have to play a 60-minute football game where you execute for the entire 60 minutes, and so we know that keeping ourselves poised, playing complementary football, and realizing it's going to be a 60-minute game. Oh, it's insane. I mean, I don't know if I can do that without looking silly up here crying. But, yeah, it's been insane. For my family, for me, for everything Sean and the Rams organization's been to us has been extremely special. And I think it'll be a lifetime relationship and something that will always be involved with this organization and Sean and really a lot of the guys here that I've had a chance to play with. It's been, I've had some pretty special years in my career. I mean, like I said before, I mean, I don't know if I could have won more games in high school than I did, and championships in college, win a national championship, and be a part of some great teams with Nick Saban, and then coming here in Cincinnati, a great run there. But these 5 years have been probably the best 5 years of my life in sports, and just from an appreciation of building a culture and being a part of building that culture, raising up people and being there for them on a daily basis, and then having a team and an organization that community service, leadership, um, building culture is the most important thing in the world to them over anything else, and they'll choose that before they choose anything. Has made it a really rare experience for me, and one I don't ever want to walk away from.
Probably my favorite player. Also, was a big Rich Gannon fan before that. He was a quarterback at Delaware in the 80s. My dad played at Delaware, so he was my dad's quarterback when he was there.
Yeah, I mean, I think watching Matthew from afar, you even always felt that about him, just what a great player he was in that organization, even though I wouldn't say that he was always in the best situation in Detroit. But then when you got him here and realized just how magnetic he was, and how many people just want to be around him, be a part of him, and what a great soul he is in person and a guy's guy, it makes it easy to want to fight for him and be in a huddle with him. And I would, sincerely doubt there's many people that he's not the top of their list as somebody they want to win for. Unsung hero? Oh, man. I mean, unsung hero, anytime you talk about unsung heroes, I think, I always talk about teams. And I think to me it's, obviously everyone knows the job Matt Gay's done, and Johnny Hecker do for us. But if you really look at our season, you watch these young guys on special teams, how much better they've gotten, and how great that kickoff team, that punt team, the punt return team, kickoff return team. I mean, the growth they've had throughout the year of starting off as a bunch of guys who never touched the field in the NFL, and some of them got injured, some of them had good moments and bad, and then all of a sudden to where they are now, how they've really played the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. If you really look at the way those special teams have played, I can remember being at home with COVID in the Minnesota game and watching special teams that week and telling my wife, like, this will be what will separate us when we hit the playoffs if these guys continue to be this kind of team. And they've continued to do that and continue to grow, and it's really been something really special to watch. These are going to be a lot of guys that are going to be contributing to this team in years to come, and right now they're doing a heck of a job doing it on special teams. Yeah, I mean, you look throughout the NFL history, there's been a lot of great teams, a lot of places that it blows your mind to think they didn't win together or they didn't win one. And that's why I've always said, I mean, when we won the NFC Championship, it's like people are like, hey, man, this is what you thought. But that's just such a irrational thought. I mean, the truth is you can put a lot of great players together, and it doesn't mean they're going to win. It doesn't mean they're going to make the plays in the exact moment when they need to and perform the way they do. It's so hard to win in this league, regardless of the players you have. That's why you can't put super teams together, because it doesn't work like that in the NFL. Every Sunday, any given team has a chance to win it. And you have the right quarterback, the right skill guy, the right defensive player, and you got a chance to win. And I think that's one of the things that was, that you felt accomplished about, is like, regardless of whether people thought we added all these guys, they still had to perform, and we still had to go make those plays. And so to be in this moment, that's what you take from it, is we've been able to find a way to make those plays, and we're going to have to do it again on Sunday if we want to win. Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. As I've said before, it's hard for me to put into words how cool it is. I mean, to be at the point we're at here in the Super Bowl, and to be playing in an organization that for 11 years, I was a captain and gave my heart and soul to, and couldn't love that city and that organization and all the people there more. Man, I mean, it's an amazing scenario for me to play a place that my entire heart and soul is invested in, that community, the kids, all the charitable things we got to do there, and then to be here and to do all those things, and then for that game to be against these two teams, it's like one of the neatest moments of my life. Because I told this to somebody earlier in the week, it's like, you look at what did you think of the Cincinnati Bengals before, really when I got there in 2006, they had one winning season in 20-something years, right? And then, we have 6 playoff appearances, win 3 or 4 division championships while I'm there. And then what did you think of the, Los Angeles Rams before 2017? hadn't won any games in 15 years, really hadn't had a winning season, and then to come here and to do the same thing here, and we win division. We now at 3 division championships, 2 NFC championships, and be in a second Super Bowl. It's like, you know what? I've had the great opportunity to go to 2 different places and be a part of turning it into a winning culture and be a part of turning it into winning communities too. And to me, to have those teams meet in the Super Bowl is the most unreal, proud moment I could ever have. I mean, to me, it's an awesome thing, and what a cool thing for me that I'll never forget in my life.
With all that context, Coach, do you think about maybe this is a good way to go out? Is that something?
Yeah, I mean, I told some people that too when I was talking about that. I didn't finish that. That's kind of what I was talking about. It's like, yeah, if I was going to do it, I mean, what just an unreal way, no matter what, to walk off. I mean, I don't know that there's anything left for me to do after that point. You know what I mean? And so, we'll see after the game. We'll see what goes on this offseason. But yeah, I mean, definitely, it's definitely a scenario. No matter how I feel right now, that it's definitely in my mind.
Good variety in football for you guys. I like blue, but that's my go-to. But there's an even variety available to us.
Yeah, it's been unbelievably special. For me in my time here, it's like I think coming here, what a transition it was, moving my whole family, being a part of this organization, finding a way to really fit in the community and find a way to make a difference and help build the culture here with Sean, and how much time and work we spent, me and him being together in the off seasons and talking about culture and talking about team and what's important. And then, you look at every year, it's like the experiences have grown, and it's like the Super Bowl in 18, the 18 season, accomplishing all these things they hadn't done in years, and then to be back in this moment now, it's like every year I feel like the year before trumps it, and it's like now to be in this moment again, it's like I've trumped those moments again. It's just been an unreal 5 years. I couldn't have ever dreamed to be in this scenario, and these last 3 days have been really cool. Just for me in my career, as much as I've accomplished and had, there's never been a moment like that where it's been that intense and that many people get a chance to love on you and give you some confirmation of things you've done in your life. So it's just been super gratifying. As an O lineman, we don't get a lot of attention, and so to be in that moment's been kind of like, I don't want it, and then at the same time, man, really cool to have some of the admiration and people that have poured their hearts out to me about what they've experienced being around me, different athletes across the league that I would have never known were watching. It's been really special for me.
Delaware, I like two cousins is my favorite, closest to me. Philly still got 30, 40 minutes for me.
There's no doubt about it. It'd be unbelievably special, and like I said, we have plenty to play for, and the reality of Super Bowls is both teams are there for a reason, and they've been able to find ways to win big games. They've been able to play their best in big moments, and you can make all the things about where you are and what the experiences are, but in the big game, it'll be the team that goes out and executes and plays the best, and there'll be no excuses. And so we know that it's about going out there, executing, and playing our best football. Oh, no decision yet, and we'll see when the season's over. Sit down with the family like I always do after every year. I may have cried wolf so many times that nobody wants to listen anymore, but I think I've said I was going to retire for about 6 years now. So at some point it'll actually happen, and we'll sit down and find out. Thank you. I've been blessed with good health, and I mean, part of that's just, being blessed, and then part of it's the work. I mean, I've obviously put a lot of work into taking care of my body, a lot of, I was talking to some of the rookies yesterday, really talking to those guys about how much I believed in them and how they should really have a focus, that there is no such thing as an off season and off time. I mean, to me, I'll never forget Anthony Munoz when I was in Cincinnati told me, off season's the greatest time to be selfish in your career. And what he meant by that is, when you're in season, you're with the team. It's what's best for the team. It's what's best for everything else. But the off season is your time to be selfish and do what's best for your body and for you and how you need to train to be able to be that person in the season your team can count on. And so I was talking to the young guys about how they need to go straight into how they're going to prep themselves for next year and being the kind of player they want to be and achieving what they want to. And so I think that really that's what separates guys, and for me that's always been something that's been in my mind. Thinking of being in this Super Bowl, I think of the last one, and that is, we lost and on a Sunday, flew back on Monday morning, and when we landed, I went straight to the field from the bus and started running around the field with my headphones on and training myself for the next opportunity I got, which is this one. And so those moments don't go take for granted, and they don't happen just by chance. I mean, you have to put in the time and the effort, and so I couldn't be more grateful to be where I'm at. Yeah, it is. It's been crazy. I mean, it's been 2 wild years to think of what has become normal, and all of that is just insane. I mean, you look at it outside of football, it's insane, but inside football too. I mean, it's been tough. I'm a guy who believes in culture. I believe in relationships. I believe that life, football, everything else, quality time together, quality time outside of just work means a lot. And so to have all the restrictions we've had and limiting our time together. I mean, I think that that's been tough, and it's especially doing this game, because this game plays with your mind a lot. And I think that's why you've seen some of the things you've seen with guys struggling with mental stuff, throughout the league. I mean, it's been a tough 2 years on our country and the world, and football's not any different.
Looking back at your last time
Thank you.
at the Super Bowl, you got to experience a normal Super Bowl week.
It all depends on the
Which
way
one
the
do you
game goes.
prefer, that week or this week? And do you feel like some of the younger guys have missed out since they haven't gotten to experience, for example, media day?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think if you're asking me personally, I mean, I definitely prefer this version. I've done plenty of media in my career, but I do think of like guys who've never actually been to a true Super Bowl experience. Although it's not like the ideal thing you'd want to have to do while you're there, it does give you a feeling of just how big your game is and how big the stage and the world you play on is when you go see what a real Super Bowl media day experience is like. It almost gives you an even deeper appreciation of the game and how special what you get to do for a living is. So I do feel for some of those guys that have never experienced that, it is unfortunate that some of those guys, with this experience won't get that.
But as Matthew was talking about what a good sleeper he is, do you ever have trouble sleeping before the big one?
I don't. I don't have any trouble sleeping. I don't sleep much anyway, so I don't really worry about it. I'm not somebody that sleeps much, so I'm kind of a night owl and an early riser at the same time. So I'm up early no matter what. Matthew, he's brushing his teeth and putting on his PJs at about 8:15 every night. So I usually have to get every text in I might have at night early enough for him to read it, or he hadn't put his glasses on or something. So he's he hits the early bird sleep time, that's for sure.
And first of all, congratulations on the Walton Payton Award. What does that mean to you, and why is it so important to get back to the game?
I think to me, it's exactly what I said last night. I mean, our game is driven by the fans and the communities that watch, pay attention, buy jerseys, come to games. If you really think of professional sports, they don't exist without fans, and they don't exist without money that's driven from fans watching. So, in what ways I give back to my community is a direct reflection of how much I respect the fact of what I get to do for a living. And so to me, that's why community service is so important, is that I would never receive something from somebody without giving it back. And I believe in paying it forward and making sure that people know that I'm going to always support them and be there for them in general. And I think that when you're really a culture person and you believe in what culture and inclusion and being accepted really means, that's not something you just do at work. It's something that you live by in everything you do. And so to me, that's why community service is important.
How did you find out?
Yeah, they kind of I mean, I kind of had a feeling just because they were so on me so much about having a speech in and being ready, and then it was like everybody's kind of doing that, and okay, and then it was like, hey, we want you to come and all that. And then when I got there and kind of had a feel for, that they really wanted me to go back there and make sure my stuff was right, I kind of knew that must be the situation. So I really kind of knew last night, right before they announced it, and it was really cool.
Andrew, you're a girl dad. What if your daughters decided to play football? What would be your thoughts on what you do?
That's a great question. So actually, they can do whatever they want to do. I'm somebody that believes whatever their dream is, they can achieve it, and if they just put their minds to it and want to do it enough. But that's for them to decide, and not for me. And so my boys, my girls, they all know that. That I tell them all the time, they can do anything they want to do in life. They can have any dream they want, and I'll help them pursue it. But they've got to choose that, and they got to tell me what they want to do. And when they're ready to do that in life, I'll be right there with them to try and help them all along the way. But I'll never push them or ask them to do one thing unless it's something they want to do. But also, funny enough, my football journey, first time playing football, is our coach's daughter was the middle linebacker, and she actually ran me over. So that was the beginning of my football journey. And as I always go and talk to kids at school, and the girls and the boys get a good kick out of that one. That my very first football play in junior high, the coach's daughter ran me over. So I kind of started at the bottom of the totem pole there.
One
Yep.
more question, guys, for Whit.
Just to piggyback on that, I'm with first-class fatherhood. We got a fatherless crisis going on in our country. So many kids growing up without a father or father figure in their life. Can you talk about the importance of the role of the father in the family?
Oh yeah, I mean obviously, there's so many things that the father is important for, and I think it's one of those things that I appreciate everything that my dad was there for, and the other men that were in my life. I think it's one of those things that we use the word father, and sometimes other people think that you're not talking to them. But I think in general, there's a lot of different ways of being a father. I think that there's a lot of men that I look in my life that might not have been my biological dad, but they poured into me, and their leadership or help, is what helped mold me into who I am. And I've got a lot of people in my life that call me a father figure or a big brother or whatever you want to call it, that it's of the utmost importance that I make decisions and do things that reflect well in the way who they want me to be and what they want to see out of me. And so I think there's a lot of things there that are very important in general, is for men in general to stand up and make sure that they're being representative of what it is that they want people to grow up and see in our world.
Well said. You're first-class father all the way. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thoughts on 37-year-old Eric Weddle? I know he's younger than you, but you guys are kind of the old guys in the Super Bowl. Thoughts on that?
Oh, it's my brother, man. We it couldn't make this opportunity be any more special for him to be with me, and it just makes it right, and it's honestly invigorated me and made me more excited to be playing football than anything else in the last 3 or 4 weeks, is him joining us and just his energy and passion and how much love I have for him. I mean, he's definitely one of those guys that I'll be playing for on Sunday.
Any truth being too old to win a Super Bowl?
There's no truth to that.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all.